Welcome back, Year 3, to another week of maths. Before the holiday, if you remember back that far, we did column addition. You did a super job of it from all the teaching we saw in the class and the home learning that you sent in. So this week, we're going to be doing a week on column subtraction. We're only going to spend a week on column subtraction because a lot of the things that we're going to do, you've already learnt in addition just the other way around. So it should be a little bit quicker to learn what we're doing. We're going to do two little bits of lessons. The first bit is where the questions are very straightforward, and I think you'll understand what to do with the layout of columns. And then the second half of the lesson, we're going to start to have a look at what we might have to do when the questions get trickier, where the numbers are not straightforward. So hopefully it's going to work. There's one test 3 version here, so we don't want to be doing 4. Okay, bingo, we're in. So just bring that away. So these are the learning objectives we're going to hopefully be meeting this week. By the end of the week, we're hopefully going to be able to subtract two 3-digit and 2-digit numbers from each other when exchanging, we've come across that word before, in addition, haven't we, is required in multiple columns, and choose efficient methods of subtraction, which columns is efficient in most questions. Not always the best for money because there's too many zeros involved. We'll come on to that later in the term when we start doing some money work. So let's go on to the next slide. So we're going to partition numbers into hundreds, tens and ones and subtract numbers accurately within 10. So let's have a look at what it looks like with equipment when I play a video I've made earlier. So 304, 300, 40, 4 tens, and how many ones? 6 ones, 346. I've made it with my equipment. I'm going to take away 133. I'm going to start with my ones because that's what we do with the columns. I'm going to take 3 ones away. So 6 take away 3 is 3. I'm going to do 40 take away 30, which is my tens. I'll take 3 tens away, or 4 take away 3, but they're tens. I'm left with 1, but 1 10, so that's 10. And I've got the equipment. 300, I'm going to take away 100. How many hundreds will I have left? 200. If I add all my bits together, 200 add 10, add 3, I've still got 213 left. That's why I was doing addition. I was just adding my parts back together. Okay, let's move on because that's with equipment. Let's look at the actual pictures. Okay. So 300. Add 4 tens. Add 6. Yeah, the video doesn't look quite right, but that's the only glitch. Okay, I'm going to take away 3 ones, cross them out. 1, 2, 3. I've still got 3 left. I've got 4 tens. I'm going to take 3 of them away. 1, 2, 3. I've still got 1 left. And I've got take away 100. 213. It's almost easier, I think, with the drawing the pictures than it was the equipment. So with these ones where the numbers work, I think you'll understand column layout just as easy as for subtraction as you did for addition. Just got to remember that we must line the hundreds up with hundreds, tens up with, and the ones up accurately so that our numbers for our answers and our exchanges are in the right place. Otherwise you can end up with numbers that are way wrong, especially if it's a 3-digit and 2-digit. You must make sure you're subtracting the digits from the right places. So let's watch me write this out. So I'm writing my hundreds, tens and ones on to help me. I've got 346 and 133. You must put the subtraction sign so people know whether it's a subtraction and addition. We didn't really push that with addition, but you must be on. 6 take away 3 is 3. 4 take away 3 is 1 for their tens. 3 take away 1 is 2 for their hundreds. 213. You think they'd be able to give that a go? I think they would too, which is why we're on to our do it. There's only 2 questions here because we've got 2 bits of the lesson and there's no security with this bit either. I think this is fairly straightforward. If you want to use the equipment, the concrete resources, or draw a picture to help, you can. But if you think I only need to draw the columns for this, I know, understand how to lay them out now. I want you to do 543 take away 121 and 657 take away 234. Okay, I'm going to pause it and you give that those 2 questions a go by drawing them out yourself. Okay, hopefully you managed to get, right, I'm just going to work this out in my head mentally, but the reason we're doing paper methods is to make sure. So we should have 422, I think. Yeah, because 500 take away 100 is 400, 40 take away 20 is 20, 3 take away 1 is 2. So yeah, 422 and 423. What are the chances of that? Those numbers are done by chance. We've ended up with 2 answers that are 1 apart from each other. Right, now on to the next part of the lesson. We're going to go back to just 2-digit numbers now to do some subtractive digit numbers with exchange. So we've partition numbers into 10s and 1s. We're going to exchange a 10 for 10 ones and make sure we're being accurate with our subtraction, particularly from the teens numbers. So let's have a look at this question. Well, we've just learned how to do this. So we ought to be able to do this, shouldn't we? Oh, can anybody spot a problem? And I'll give you a little while to look at that particular question and see if you can think why it might be trickier than the questions we've already done before. Okay, who spotted it? Yeah, we want to take 8 away from 5. And if I was in class and I hold up 5 fingers and I say take 8 away, you can't, there's not enough there, is there? Without going into something called negative numbers, but we're not doing that today. So if we can't take 8 away from 5, can we just do 8 take away 5 instead? That is the big mistake with column subtraction that children do. They go, well, I can't do the 5 take away 8, so I'll do 8 take away 5 instead. You can't do that because it changes the maths. As we'll see if we were to use the equipment or draw pictures on the next video. So there must be something else we have to do. I'm not going to learn it with the columns today. We're just going to learn it with the equipment and the pictures. And it's something that we've done before, just the other way around. So I'm going to show you with the equipment now. So we're going to do 65 take away 28. So I've got 6 tens for 60. And 5 ones. I want to take 8 away. I haven't got 8. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to get enough ones, aren't I? And to do that, I'm going to do exchange again. But this time, I'm exchanging a 10 for some ones. I've moved it across as a 10. I'm actually going to draw the ones there. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change that 10 for 10 ones. So instead of having 65, I've now got 50 and 15. I ought to be able to do the question. Just laying them out into a 10 pattern because it sometimes makes it easier for you to see what to do. Now, that means 15 take away 8. Now, some of you are going to get in a muddle with doing team subtraction like that. So if we try and bridge through 10, it might make it easier. You could either do 5 and take away another 3, but if you think about that 10, I've added a 10. I only needed, I'm going to take all 8 of those away, and it's given me 2, because you know 8 and 2 is 10, so you've got 2 of that 10 left, and 5 more. 2 and 5 makes 7. Now I've got to take away another 2 10s from my 20, and I'm left with 30. So I've got 37. And I think that's fairly straightforward. So I'm going to draw pictures of it on my next video now. Before I press play, I made a mistake on this video, but I spotted while I was teaching and I went with it, because sometimes we make mistakes in our maths and it's good to be able to spot them and correct them. Even Mr. Kellum made a mistake. So if you spot the mistake early, well done. See if you can spot it before I do. And I kept it in my teaching because I thought it was useful to point out where the mistake went wrong. So I'm writing my 10s and 1s. So I'm going to draw 6 10s and 5 1s. And then I'm going to do, I haven't got enough, so I'm going to exchange a 10 and do 10 1s. Now, it doesn't look like I've drawn 10 there. That's not the mistake. That's just because it's under the light. So I'm crossing out the 8. I've still got 5, 6, 7, and I realised. So I'm just going to move it out of the light. You can see now I've still got 7 1s left. Okay, and then I'm going to take away my 2 10s. Well, that 10's already gone across, hasn't it? So I've got to take another 2 away. That 10 was exchanged, so I still need to take away 2 more 10s. And I've got 27. So 65 take away 28 is 27. That doesn't look right. Oh no, I don't think that was the answer we got before. The way you can check if you've got a subtraction correct is if you add it back onto the number you took away, you should get the number you started with. So I'm going to check this with a column addition and see where I went wrong. So I'm going to do a little column addition at the side. 7 add 8 is a nibble, 7 add 7 is 14, and 1 was 15, 5 and an extra 10. 55, I'm out by 10. Right, let's go check my 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I was meant to have drawn 6. Well, I'm going to draw an extra 10 on. That's where I went wrong. Okay, it's 37. And that's actually where sometimes you go wrong. You understand the method, but your drawing of the pictures leads you to make mistakes. You either don't draw enough or they're too close together, you can't count them accurately. And sometimes when you were regrouping and drawing your circles round to exchange, you were drawing a line that went over one of those and you missed a 10. So just be careful with your pictures, either that they're clear enough, or in my case, that you've actually drawn the right thing in the first place. So don't be making my mistake. Okay, if you're drawing the pictures today, draw them better than I did. Okay. So you'll do it for the rest of the lesson. There's only 3 questions, but I want you to use some equipment if you've got it. So you might be using pencils and marbles for your 10s and 1s. As long as you've got something for 10s and 1s. All of these questions, just to practice what we're doing today, are going to require to exchange. So you're going to need, with your equipment, to move a 10 across and swap it for 10 more 1s of whatever you're using as your small pieces, so that in order that you can do the subtraction. And then for each question, as well as doing it with the equipment first, I want you to draw it like I did with the last question with the pictures. Cross out a 10 and draw 10 extra 1s. So there's only 3 questions there. Good luck with that. Pause it. There is a secure it after this, so you do need to come back to the video. Okay. The secure it is to do with the first half of the lesson, really, because there's no exchange in any of these questions. So you've just got to have a close look at these questions, see if you can work out what the missing numbers are in these subtraction calculations. Okay, no deep in it today. So maybe there'll be one on tomorrow's session. So well done if you've managed to do 2 lessons in 1 today. And I'll see you again for tomorrow for some more subtraction, where we're going to actually turn the pictorial understanding into exchange in columns. Okay, something to look forward to if you're enjoying your maths. See you tomorrow.